It is over. Finally. I don't want. I didn't want to follow this more than it should have. It took how many years of my life away? So much years. So many years. It took 2 years. But
I think it took a little longer. But anyway, hi guys. Welcome back to the Charming Analysis podcast. I'm Mari.
I'm Jay.
We can finally talk about it! I've been wanting to make a podcast about this show for fucking years! We're talking about the Amazing Digital Circus from Glitch Productions. Why don't you explain what it's about, honey?
People get isekai'd into a AI, and there's different characters to express the humans that have gone into this AI, and then there is Kane, who is the AI who is running the place, and he wants to pretty much control them and take them on quote-unquote adventures and stuff, to keep himself entertained. And the people who have been turned into these caricatures want to get out. And we get to learn about the people in the digital circus, you could say. Some of it is good. Some of it is not so good. And I feel very... I feel like this show suffers from having the person who created it do too much.
Gooseworx.
Yes.
So, my thoughts on it is that it's a good show, but I feel like they could have done a lot better in the later half. Like, it was good. It's like a mountain. It's good on the way up, and then it's sucked on the way down.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Like, what do you think? You agree?
I thought that it was good when it was being, I don't know. There was like a certain place where I wanted, where I thought it was going before. And then because I think that people got attached to it way too quickly, it kind of influenced the show writer to do stuff that was not originally going to be planned, I don't think. I don't know. There's such a thing as people getting too attached to their own product that they kind of don't want to listen to any person outside of that, except for the people that are not writers. Which fans are not writers. They are not your friends. They do not know what you do. This is not their creation to deal with. I'm trying to, I know it seems really harsh. It just seems a lot of what these, unless you already were established and you already written the story, yada yada, it just seems like a lot of these, web projects or web animations that want to become shows seem to be more for the people, seems to be more for them to like express some type of way, and then once the fans get a hold of it, it becomes like, oh, peer pressure to make everyone happy. And you can't do that. You can't make everyone happy when you're making a show. You got to think about what is best for the show, what qualifies as good writing, good storytelling, and all that stuff. I think the most that I'm going to take from the show is that the animation quality improved on it a lot.
It really did.
But I give credit to those animators for doing that. But having good animation does not save your show.
Yeah, that's something I do agree on. Animation does not save a show most of the time. It does help when it, visually with the show, but the writing is also very crucial when it comes to a show. Everything regarding a show is important, but those two specifically do help. So, and this is something I did notice throughout the show when we were watching it, first, I think 5-6 episodes were mainly focused on Pomni, and then all of a sudden they decided, oh, let's focus on Jax for like the rest of it. Even though each character was supposed to have their own episode, which they ended up doing. But at the same time, I feel like Jax became more of a focus regarding it. I lost my train of thought. Oh, wait. If they wanted Jax to be more of a focus to the show...
Should have been the main character then.
Then they should have established him as a main character within the first episode.
You can't have 7 of your cast members be the main character.
Which is fine. Like, you can have multiple main characters.
That's why they're called arcs. That's why, but you limit yourself to doing a 9-minute miniseries.
Not 9 minute, 9
or
episode.
9-episode miniseries.
You kind of got to figure out what's going on with your plot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I understand Gooseworx wrote it within like 2 weeks, supposedly. From
What?
Yes, they wrote it within 2 weeks.
2 weeks? The fuck? What? I was not told this information.
Yeah, like literally, I found things mentioning that it'll be done in like 2 weeks.
What? They did not write this whole series in 2 weeks. I am not believing you on that. I don't think no creator is that stupid. And I don't think no creator is going to spend their lifelong project working on the show that's only going to take them 2 weeks to write.
Yeah, I've heard like from different interviews and different like Tumblr posts. Sadly, you can't really find a lot of stuff because literally as soon as the show was over, Gooseworx like deleted their entire Tumblr, which had so much lore shit. It's not even funny. So basically, half of the stuff about the thing is lost media now, which is kind of shitty. But but one of the things I did look up, because I was keeping an eye on a lot of the stuff that was on Tumblr through a bunch of like videos on YouTube and stuff. But it was told that Gooseworx only spent 2 weeks on the actual like idea for the show, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. But the series itself is good. But I do think if you're going to establish another character as a main character later on in the show, if it went on for longer, that would have been like fine. But they only did 9 episodes. So what's the point of establishing another main character if you're only having like 9 episodes? And some people are like, well, why don't they make a season 2? Glitch is one of those people, from what I did look up as well, because I did a lot of research on different stuff regarding like how production stuff was done, Glitch stuff in general, just how they do stuff with the productions. But if a creator only wants to do like a certain amount of episodes for a show, they're given that. Which is a good thing, but at the same time it's like, are you going to have a good enough story to tell by doing that? I just think it's one of those things to where if they wanted Jax to be more of a main focus, you should have done that at the beginning instead of just doing it halfway through. But besides that, what did we think of Digital Circus? Because I still thought the show was great. It got to a point, like, it was good, like, the first, let's say 6 episodes. First 6 episodes were good. Getting introduced to Pomni, joining the circus, learning about how everyone is, going on, like, a couple little adventures, and trying to, I guess, learn how the circus works, in a sense, along with a bunch of existential dread, because Pomni be going through it the first, like, couple episodes. Is kind of crazy, but they worked. Like, the episodes worked. The show started to get good for me, like, since the beginning. Like, I enjoyed it since the beginning, but when it got to, like, the guns episode, I feel like that's where it started to teeter off. I feel like that was the last good episode before it kind of went to shit, or not really went to shit, but kind of more like the direction kind of changed after like episode 6, in my opinion. And then we had a little bit of a peak again with episode 8, and then it went back down again. So you can basically watch the series for yourself if you want to like see the little itty bitty parts of it. But what is something about the show that you think that they could have done better, besides the fact about Jax being more of a main focus, like later on? Besides that whole thing, what is some other stuff that you feel like they could have improved on?
I mean, I think it's one of those things to where it's first time writer. And I think because she was doing it all by herself, didn't really give much wiggle room. So I would just, for one, just have a bunch of people like working on a show besides the one person who is storyboarding, writing, yada yada yada. That's what I would do. Remake the whole show, but with a whole crew instead of one person.
Well, there technically was a whole crew, but like they should have had more of a writing team.
Animators, you know.
Yeah, there was a crew of animators, but I mean, like for writing and stuff, Gooseworx should have had like more, I guess, prep and more like people kind of helping with it than just mainly them coming up with the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And we're not trying to like hate on Goose, just so you guys know. We're just trying to kind of say our thoughts and kind of like give them criticism to help them with whatever future shows they want to do, because they are doing another show. I don't know if it's for Glitch necessarily or if it's for somebody else, but I do know that they are working on another project from what I did look up. Now, another thing I will mention about Digital Circus, I know it was very subtle, and I know that it has been hinted at for a bit, but the whole thing about Jax being trans, I personally feel like they could have done it a little bit better. Like, I'm one of those people that I feel like they could have done that. Like, they did a decent job with it, but I feel like you could have done better with explaining it and kind of showing it a little bit. I know a lot of people were saying about it in episode 4. Was that with the baseball one? Was that episode 4? I believe so.
That was 5.
That was 5? Everyone in episode 5 was hinting at Jax being trans. When he... I'm going to just say they, just for simplicity purposes. When they were basically in the maid outfit and getting all embarrassed and stuff. I think it's good representation for people that have been through similar shit like that. But I still feel like we could have had a moment where Jax was realizing it and trying to learn how to not be a booty about it, or not let his, I'm going to say ego, kind of get in the way of it. Is that a good word? Ego?
Pridefulness.
Okay, fine. Pridefulness. His pridefulness get in the way of it. Like, not every character you have for representation is going to be a good one. I feel like they could have done a bit better with this, personally. But, then again, 9 episodes. Figure out what the fuck you're doing. I will definitely say this, though. I did like... so basically, to me, best episode, in my opinion, is honestly a tie between... actually, I liked a couple episodes. I liked episode 2. I liked episode 3 with Pomni and Kinger's interactions, mainly. And I did like... I liked a majority of the episodes. I think 2, 3, and 4, I think, are my favorites out of that group. And then I liked itty-bitty moments throughout the other ones. The Guns episode was fun, though. But it did teeter off a little bit from there, in my opinion. Like, I liked a lot of the episodes. Some episodes I liked more parts of it than the whole thing as a whole. Like, am I wrong, or...
What do you mean, are you wrong?
Like, do you agree, or is it just me? Like, what do you think?
I thought that there were moments in the show that were, like, good. And, like, they were, you know, just exploring the characters, and they were getting into, like, I guess, what drove them to be the way that they are. And then there was other points where it was just meandering. And they really wanted to focus on this one particular character that I just had no interest in. I just do not care for that stereotype of a character. I do not.
We know you don't like Jax, honey. We already know
there's
this.
A lot of characters that I would classify as Jax being, for one, a fucking bully, which I just don't really care for that I don't care for the stereotype of that.
Me
in
too.
Anything.
It's been so overdone at this point that it's like, it's kind of bullshit at this point. Like, there's been so many shows that have done the bully archetype that it's not even funny anymore. But Jax specifically takes it to a different level, in my opinion. Like, and it's not a good level. Like, he purposely picked on Gangle for, like, a good section of the show. And there's a lot of moments where it's implied that, you know, he hates her. Like, deep, deep hatred. Even though Gangle's really not done anything to warrant that hatred. So, but yeah, like, I do think there's more good character moments in the show than the full episodes. Like, what are your top 3 favorite moments? Because for me, I think my favorites have to be...
I like Pomni as a character, and I'm sure I can list moments with her, but I just like Pomni as a character.
Oh, definitely. Pomni was one of the reasons I kept watching the show, and another was because I liked a lot of the characters in the show. That's why I kept watching it. But,
And also you feel obligated to watch a show until the very end, and I told you before that you don't have to do that.
I know, but most of the time I want to. Like, I would like to see how a show goes. Because you can't just judge it by a couple seasons and then expect the whole show to be like that. So, that's one of the reasons I like doing that. And with this one, I actually really like the show. I just feel like they could have tweaked a couple things to make it a bit better. Like, we could have had, if they wanted to have Jax be more of a main character, then you should have established that within the first, 2 episodes. And they didn't really do that. And then Pomni kind of just got sidelined for, the later half of the show. Which is kind of sad. But favorite moments for me is basically, a lot of the moments between Gangle and Zubul I absolutely loved. I actually also liked getting to see a flashback of Kinger with his wife. I thought that was great. I also liked the interactions that we got to see between Jax and Ribbit, even though we never get to see her as a fully fleshed out character. I did like getting to see Jax's memories of her throughout the flashback. Like, that was actually some of the things I enjoyed about the season, like that. Those are, I think, in no particular order, though. Those, I think, were, my favorite moments in the show. Another thing that... Okay, wait, actually, I want to know your thoughts about this. How do you think they could have handled the whole trans thing with Jax? Speaking as a trans man yourself, how do you feel like they could have done that better, in your opinion? I want to know your thoughts.
I don't think the story needed it. If you exclude that a character is quote unquote your self-insert, like, and you don't write that character better, then, like, I don't know what to think about that. Like, I have no opinion on that. This is how you want to write your character? Cool. That does not mean I have to engage with it.
And that I can also understand, too. Like, it's just one of those things where I can agree with you on that statement. Like, I do feel like, sorry. I do agree that I don't think it was needed necessarily for the plot. Personally, I like when, like, we get to find out LGBTQ stuff about characters, but I feel like the show didn't need that specifically as a plot point. I feel like we could have been fine with Jax, like, finding out about it and trying to understand it than just pushing it to the back of his mind. But then again, that was probably, like, the start of his, like, trans journey, maybe. Like, I don't know. And I understand everyone goes through their journeys different. I get that. I do think they could have established it better. Like, you can still have Jax being trans, but you can also attempt the plotline better than just having it be hinted at and all that stuff. You can have implications, but do it in a way that's like you can kind of understand it or execute it better. This one is one of those cases, in my opinion, where they could have executed this better. But maybe that's just me. I guess, do you have anything else to say about it? Or do you want to, I guess, rate each episode and then the whole thing? Or how do you want to do this?
My favorite episode was the fast food one.
Which one?
The fast food one.
Oh, Gangle's episode?
Yeah.
Honestly, that was probably one of the highlights of the series, was getting to see, like, the fast food, like, plotline. Spudsy's actually was one of the better episodes. I don't think it was the best one, but it was one of the better ones.
I don't know. It could have been a funny satirical show. I think it could have went there, but it didn't go there. And where it went, I wasn't too hyped about.
Yeah, that's true. Favorite episode for me? Honestly, episode 2. I think episode 2 was probably my favorite. I actually liked interactions of Pomni and Gummy Goo quite a bit. If I had to pick a favorite, I would probably have to pick between that or episode 4, like you, at this point. But I do like a lot of stuff about the show. I just feel like Goose could have reworked this a lot better. Or they could have done, like, another season and kind of fleshed it out more. But if you only wanted to do 9 episodes, that's fine. But there's only so much you can do in 9 fucking episodes. And one of them's literally an hour long. Which is something I noticed Glitch has done with some of their projects, at least some of their newer ones. They tend to make the finales like an hour. I don't know if that's the case for all their shows, or if that's just the newer ones. But that's something I did seem to notice. I don't know if that's just me. Did you notice that, or not really?
I mean, the length won't be felt unless the story just didn't support it. So by the end of it, I was just like, yeah, this is happening. I guess it was at that point like authors fanfic at that point.
Yeah. All right. Let's rate each episode and then the thing as a whole, and then I think we're good.
Okay.
So, you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Go ahead.
Episode 1, in my opinion, is a good introduction to the show. I don't really have too many notes on it, other than the fact that I wish the animation was a lot better for it, but then again, it came out a couple years ago, and the animation has improved, so I'm not going to fault that. But episode 1, in my opinion, gets a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's a pretty good start to a series in establishing your characters and stuff. Episode 2 does a lot of world building for I think episodes 2 and 3 kind of do a bit of world building. A little bit in episode 4 too. I liked the adventures and stuff that they did in the second episode. I liked the references. It's still my personal favorite of the episodes, and I would probably give it an 8 out of 10 if I had to pick. Episode 3, I didn't really like that much, other than the whole Pomni and Kinger moments. Was literally the only thing I liked about it. I would probably give that maybe like a 6. Episode 4, I would actually give an 8.5. It's pretty solid as an episode. Don't really have any notes on it. Episode 5, I'm probably going to give... I'd probably give it like a 7. Episode 6 is the last good one I think we got, and I would give that an 8. I liked that they decided, here, have guns, go fuck around. I think that was a nice concept to do. I hated the last part of it, but other than that, it's still good. 7 is probably going to be... Actually, 7 and 8 I'm probably going to rank in the same one. I'm probably going to give them both like a 5. And then, minus a few things in episode 9, I kind of had mixed reviews on it. I don't feel like they should have had that as a movie. They could have just divided it up into like 2 separate episodes. Like, you don't need to fucking release it in theaters. I feel like that was kind of dumb. But that's just personally me. Minus the good moments I actually liked in it, I'd probably give that one like a 4. And then the series as a whole, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. It's a solid series. It's good when it wants to be good. It has its moments when it kind of falls off a bit. I feel like with a bit more planning and a bit more execution, the show could have been a lot better. For what we got, I did enjoy the show. And I definitely plan on watching more of Glitch's other shows. I'm waiting for Knights of Guinevere to come out. And maybe Gamerverse. I'm curious to see what Gamerverse is going to do. I'm definitely excited for Knights of Guinevere. But yeah, I give it a solid 7 out of 10 for like the show as a whole. What about you?
Episode 1, 7. Episode 2, like 6. Episode 3, 4. Episode 3 is 4. Episode 4 is a... I'll give it an 8. Episode 5 is a 5.
That's funny.
Yeah, episode 6 is... I would also say episode 6 is a 6. Episode 7... what was episode 7?
I think that was the one where they kind of just did whatever for the episode. Like they did.
That was 5.
Wait, that was the beach episode. That was the beach one.
Oh, when they figured, okay.
That was the beach one.
Okay, that episode 4, was episode 8 is 5, finale 4.
Alright, and what do you give it as a whole?
As a whole, 5 out of 10, I would say. I would say 5 out of 10.
Okay. That's good.
Honestly.
It's one of those things, and I agree with you on that. And would you give it as a whole again?
5 out of 10.
Would you watch it again?
Probably not.
I might go back and watch clips of it, but I don't know if I would personally watch it again. But I am curious to see what other stuff Glitch does do in the future. Same with Goose. I'm kind of curious about Goose's new show and what they plan on doing with it. Let's hope it's better executed. That's like my one complaint with the show is like execute stuff better. Like you have the needs to do it. I feel like go for it. You know what I mean? But yeah. Anyway, that's our review on The Amazing Digital Circus. How's it feel to finally review it?
I mean, it's a show that I watched. I wasn't that impressed by it. And
you were the one that introduced me to it, for the record.
I know, I did, because I thought it was going to be better.
But that's okay. Not every show is going to be good. Some are going to be good, some are going to have its moments, and some are going to kind of just be... But yeah. We should be having Better Call Saul hopefully finished before Halloween. That's our next main project we're working on. And a couple movies and stuff here and there. We'll see. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, I'm Mari.
I'm Jay.
And we're out. Bye, guys.
Bye.